What's up, teammates? All right, look, I've been being positive about Minshew, but Surfer Bob out there been saying I haven't been. And if he says it, maybe there's some other people thinking it too. So, I'm going to show you what it's like if I wasn't being positive about Minshew. If I was going to treat Minshew like I didn't like him and I just wanted Aiden to play and wanted to say as much uh, negative things about Minshew as I can to motivate everyone to think the same way I think and say Minshew sucks and you're right, Aiden should be playing. So I'm gonna take these, and it's always gonna be like I do with anything. There's gonna be stats, numbers, and real stuff. I'm not gonna. It's not all opinion, and it's not necessarily the way I feel, but it is the way it is, and there's no arguing that. So with that being said, let's get to a grumpy guru session where I'm just gonna be as negative as I can about Gardner Minshew and show you the flip side of what I've been saying as far as the performance that's been positive for him. All right, ready? Here we go. I hate Gardner Minshew and he should be fired. But why should he be fired? Okay, game one, he stank. He stank up the whole joint. And I'm tired of people talking about his completion percentage. Because you're right, he had a high completion percentage. But you know what else he had? He had very low yardage. This dude completed 25 passes. And only six of those passes, six of those passes could generate more than 10 yards. 6 out of 25 passes went for 10 yards or more. And those are even counting passes that were dump off to running backs, and they took it to the house. That's counting that Madison pass that he caught for as a check down and took to the house for a 31-yard touchdown, which Gardner Minshew had nothing to do with that. So you take that away, Gardner Minshew didn't really do anything that whole game. That touchdown wasn't his. That touchdown was Madison because he was watching film earlier. So anybody could have done that. If Aiden was in there, he'd have done the same thing. There's nothing special about Gardner Minshew for doing that. And what did he do for the rest of the game? We supposed to put him in there because of his mobility, right? He's supposed to be the mobile guy. That the reason Aiden has to leave because Gardner Minshew has the legs and the mobility. But why did he get sacked 5 freaking times if that's what the mobility is supposed to get us? 5 times. What happened to the mobility? What happened to the pocket escape? He did escape the pocket. Oh, that's right. He tried to run the ball 3 times with his pocket escape and his crazy feet. 3 times for 5 yards. What are we talking about here? Why are we going to go with a mobile quarterback who gets sacked 5 times and can only muster up 5 yards with his rushing feet, and then has a nerve to throw the ball 25 times and only throw 15 balls under 10 yards? 19 balls, under 10 yards. 6 balls over 10 yards. And we're supposed to be going downfield with this? That's the way it's supposed to go in this Chargers game? Of course our running game couldn't be going because they only had to defend 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The field was just packed up right there because Minshew can't get the ball down the daggone field. And that's obvious. Especially if you look at the interception he threw in that game. I mean, Devontae, if he'd have thrown it, if he had any type of arm, he'd have thrown it to the back of the end zone where a good quarterback would put it, and he'd have had a touchdown right there, no problem. But instead, what does he do? Underthrows him so the ball lands daggone near at the goal line. So he has to stop and try to dig under it to catch it like it's a daggone punt because Minshew got no arm. And it's evident because it took so daggone long for that ball to get there. And then when it got there, it was too short and too late. So he did it, and then he did it again with Jacoby Myers. The exact same thing. He said this was on the free play. There's no reason for him to be able to mess this up. It was already been a penalty call. Just throw it all the way out there. Get it all the way to the back. Get it deep into the end zone. What did he do? He throws a duck that falls on the goal line that almost gets intercepted any damn way. So even if it was a good play, it had been turned around any daggone way. So we can't get a break with him. With that, he hasn't been operating. He hasn't been trying to get out the pocket and do anything. It's been disastrous. He's been getting sacked. He's been getting no rushing yards. He hasn't been throwing the ball downfield. We've been dinking and dunking. The only touchdown we got really isn't even credited to him because it was just some dink down that if he had hurdled the first tackler, would have been down for another 5 yards, if that. So Gardner didn't do anything in that game that produced any offense. And if you're going to go into the game and not want to throw the ball more than down the field more than 10 yards, more than 6 times, what type of quarterbacking is that? What type of aggressiveness is that? We need something more aggressive out of quarterback. And if you're going to get sacked, and if you can't run, at least be aggressive and throw the ball downfield. But we got nothing for like that in game one. That's why he stunk it up in where was it? In Los Angeles. Jeez, OP. That's why he stunk it up in Los Angeles. And that's why we lost the game. It was all his fault because he couldn't put anything together. Everybody around him was doing as much as they could. Jacoby Myers even saved him from a daggone interception by being so daggone talented. So he did a worse job than it even looks on his stats. And looking at his high percentage numbers, he isn't throwing the ball anywhere but from the backfield and right past the line of scrimmage. So anybody can look like he's doing that. And that's all he did. That's all he did. He has those stats to say that he had a high completion percentage, but he was averaging 7 yards per completion. That's not a quarterback. That's not going to work. That's not going to get us into the end zone. And that's what we got out of game one. He shouldn't have had his job after that. He stank up the joint so bad from the very beginning. If we're going to put you in to be mobile and you can't muster up nothing but 5 rushing yards and 5 sacks, why do we even try that? Especially when your accuracy is to the point where you got to get saved from interceptions. He should have been gone after the first game, if you want to look at it like that. So then he gets the second game, and then he gets to go to Baltimore. And what does he do? He starts stinking from the beginning. He picks up where he left off. No drives, short yardage. You want to hear what he started doing? We're talking about short yardage and short dunking off and how his completion percentage is supposed to be so high. Why is the completion percentage so high? Look at his yardage. All right, let's look at here. Baltimore. Drive 1. He gets sacked. He does a check down. They do a run out shotgun, and he goes down. Nothing. So we don't even have to talk about catches there. We'll just talk about catches in general, not by the drives. Just catches in general. So 6 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 1 yard, quick pass for negative yards, screen pass for negative yards, pass for no yards, 11-yard pass finally to Brock, 8 yards, and then another 9 to Mike, 5 to Brock, 3 Zeus, 2 on that's a run. You understand what I'm saying? How many passes have I taught before I finally got to 11 down on this list into the 4th drive? That's not quarterbacking. How is that going to help us win? That's not going to get us that. We can't go that many drives with that little that little yards coming out of the quarterback. And that's what we got for a good 6, 7, 7.5 quarters of football. He was staying up the joint. And just because somehow he got hot a little bit towards the end, because he made a couple of good passes, and then we had receivers do a couple of fantabulous plays that he would have destroyed the game if he didn't make. or if Devontae didn't make for him, that catch on the sidelines, that fabulous catch on the sideline, if he doesn't make that catch, that's 3rd and 8. That's out. So the oh no, not that one. That it was the Brock Bowers. The Brock Bowers, when he was scrambling and the player broke it down and he didn't know what to do. Thankfully for him, Brock Bowers came out of nowhere on the 3rd and 8, broke off his route to help find him, and then got him down to the end zone. That was all Brock Bowers. That was just Minshew scrambling, panicking, and Brock coming to help him out. There was nothing really special about that. He's just fortunate that Brock Bowers is good and he's intelligent. And that's what you all you can do with Minshew is put as much talented people around him and just see if we can fix his mistakes while he's playing out there. We'll tone down the offense and we'll do all these things to tailor around it for Minshew madness because he ain't got no quarterback skills. And then this is what we get through 7 quarters of play. Then finally he kind of puts it together. And everybody says, well, Max taps him in the chest and all of a sudden he turns into Superman. And he puts it together because Max gave him the juice. Man, he finally went out there and got the ball to Brock and Devontae. A couple of drives. Woo freaking who. Yay, he did it. After 18 consecutive drives of now scoring back-to-back points, he finally scores a touchdown and a field goal in back-to-back drives. Finally, woo-hoo. Now the offense is moving. So, just because he got hot for half a quarter, now he's the savior? He got sacked 4 times in that game too. What are we talking about? His scrambling ability would save him at the end of the game? Well, good. He was able to scramble. When the plays break down, he scrambled. As a matter of fact, when we were talking about those 10 of those long yard balls that Minshew put out there in that last game, those 10 long balls over 10 yards, 5 of those came off of his scramble. So he can find the ball deep. The problem with 5 balls coming off the scramble, that means he can't do anything in the pocket. He had 5 of his deep balls coming off scrambles. The rest of his 28 passes were under 10 yards? Really? That's something to be proud of and happy about? That's what we're going to hang the future on? That? 7.5 minutes of play in the 4th quarter and dink passes with high completion rate because you just throwing it right next to your feet, getting it to your guys short and letting them get as much yak as possible? That's supposed to convince me? 2 good passes in the pocket to Devontae Adams on time. Some rollout passes. There are some scramble passes that he made. And his greatness of the people around him making tremendous plays to keep him safe. And now he's going to save the season? I'm supposed to be jumping out of my seat like, this is it? Here we go? No. I think that he finally just barely kept his job. If Devontae doesn't catch that ball for some odd reason, then it's all going to be Minshew's fault any daggone way. He didn't perform well enough to keep a job. He only got a victory, and they're going to keep him because he deserves a congratulatory start, because he played like doo-doo until he almost didn't, and then he saved the game. But don't forget, it was stanky all the way up until that point. So I don't care if he did it for a little bit of time. What comes back when he starts the next game? Is it going to start out like last game with Minshew muck up? and then hopefully we'll pull it out again at the end. Well, there's expectations in this game. Minshew, man, he's supposed to go out there and destroy this team. Anything less than 2 touchdowns from Minshew thrown or ran in, and anything less than 27 points or 30 points is a failure as far as I'm concerned. And if he can't pull something out like that against a team that's this bad, a team where Derek Carr scored 47 points against him, he can't come up with 27 points. Everybody's going to know exactly why we should kept Derek Carr and what are we doing with Gardner Minshew, and it's just not going to work. And we should have at least kept a quarterback who's going to keep us at 500, considering if we lose, we're going to be down to 1-2, so we have to win. This is a must-win game for Minshew. If he doesn't win, I still think he should lose his job because there's no reason to think that he's going to get any better. He's a 6th-round pick. He's worse than Aiden O'Connell as far as I'm concerned with that. So he's really just wasting our time. He's a 6th-round pick who's been in the league 6 years and who's been on 5 different teams. What are we talking about here? We're just getting him because he got long hair and a mustache? He's the next cute thing? Because he plays flashy? Because every time he puts the ball in the air, you have a damn heart attack? Because you don't know what's going to happen and where it's going to come down at? If he's going to get lucky and somebody will save him from himself and catch the ball when he was supposed to be an interception? It's just the greatness of his players saving his stinky behind because he got a noodle arm. And if he didn't have a noodle arm, he'd have thrown that ball to Jacoby Myers far and in the back of the end zone because it was a free play, and Jacoby would have had a touchdown, and that could have saved the whole game, and it made it easier for everybody. But he got noodle arm. If anybody wants to deny that, that's fine. Look at those 2 throws when he put all he had into it and couldn't get the ball from where he was to the back of the end zone, and it just flew up right into the sky and gave everybody a chance at it. Threw it into double coverage both times and gave everybody a chance at it. 2 against 4 in 2 plays, and that's what we're getting with Minshew. And that's the future. That's what I'm supposed to jump out on the field and be excited about. If he doesn't overperform, not just perform, overperform, he has to look not good, but great. He has to have a similar performance to what Derek Carr did or something not too much short of that, especially considering the defense that we have, compared to what the defense of New Orleans has. We should definitely destroy the Carolina Panthers, and if we can't do that, then Gardner Minshew doesn't deserve his job. And that's what Gumpy Guru says. And now, I turn the show back over to Guru. Now, if I wanted to be negative, that's how it would be. If I want to take everything I could and throw it at him as hard as I could, that's what I would do. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying that he can do it, it can be done. And just because I don't like the way it looks doesn't mean that I don't want to watch it happen. Okay? I like boxing. You guys probably like boxing. A lot of people like to watch the heavy hitters. They like to swing hard and the knockout artists. Me, I like to watch men who do the sweet science. I like the combos, the jabs, the uppercuts, and to cut the ring off. The technical stuff is what's important to me. And it's the same in football. The only thing I'm afraid of is that Minshew's mania is not sustainable, but it can be. I'm not saying that it isn't, especially being me, not negative guru or a grumpy guru. It can't happen. And I think it most likely will happen. There's no reason to think that it won't. He's done it, showing that he can do it. And with more practice and more cohesion, we should continue to do it more, and then even do it better. And like I said last time, I'm not going to pull off the fact that I believe this is a Super Bowl team. I don't believe we're going to Super Bowl. I believe that we're a quarterback short of the Super Bowl, And if the quarterback we have gels with the team and really, really does what he's supposed to do and just get it to the superstars, we can be making it happen. There's nothing stopping us if we can get the ball to our superstars and our defense stays to par as it's been performing. There's nothing stopping this Raiders team. So I'm hoping for the best out of Minshew. And he can do it. He did it. And I don't doubt that he'll do it again. What I'm afraid of is how many times will he do it? How well will his accuracy stay? How well will he read the defenses? If he can do those things, accuracy, read the defense, we'll be fine. And who knows how far we can go. So, there you go. The silver lining is he didn't play very well, and we still got the victory, and we still got time to get better, and we've only just begun. So, don't listen to Gumpy Guru. The guy's kind of a jackass. Keep shining and keep smiling because we on the Minshew train, and the smoke is blowing, and I'm on it with y'all. So remember, you can't win them all. Clouds will get dark. You're looking for the bright side. Come to the silver lining. Guru out.